So a bit of a different thing today. We're not going to do any vinyl. Rather, we're going to talk about misunderstood song lyrics in heavy metal and hard rock tracks. We're going to go through some classics, of course. We're also going to go through a few from my teen years and beyond, admittedly, ones I picked up back then. We're also going to do one that may or may not be a mondegreen. It's in a bit of a gray area, but it's got a great story, so I'm going to do it anyways. So this should definitely be a fun little exercise. You should stick around. So what are mondegreens? Well, the term itself comes from the 1950s. Journalist Sylvia Wright was talking about a Scottish folk song called The Bonnie Earl of Moray, and she actually misunderstood a lyric in that. She thought the line, "Oh, they have slain the Earl of Moray and laid him on the green," was really, "and Lady Mondegreen." So the term itself is a misunderstood lyric, which is pretty funny. I guess that makes Sylvia Wright Sylvia wrong, right? Sure, why not? So I really do think it's easier to pick up mondegreens when you're very young. And I have a bit of a theory, a bit of a scientific, let's call it pseudo-scientific theory about this one. I thought back to lyrics when I was a teenager that I got completely wrong. Hearing those songs now at my age, it's a lot easier to figure out exactly what's being said. And I think it's because our pattern recognition skills are better when we're older. We have more exposure to the language. I think all of that factors in where if we hear something and we're not hearing it really well, we can sort of approximate what the sentence says, also put it in a given context and all of that. So those fun teen years of screwing up lyrics is probably a developmental thing, a little bit. Yeah, I'm going to go with that. There are, of course, the classics in the rock world. "Excuse Me While I Kiss This Guy," "Hold Me Closer, Tony Danza." I love that one. I also love the more modern internet meme one, "Hold Me Closer, Tiny Danzig," which has a rather unsettling visual. You can go Google that one. That one's fun. 30 Thieves and the Thunder Chiefs, one of many for AC/DC's Dirty Deeds Done Dirt Cheap. There are plenty of them. You can go Google that as well. Also, "Wrapped Up Like a Douche," Manfred Mann. The lyric is "revved up like a deuce," but no one hears that latter line. It's always about the douche and it being wrapped up. And why would you wrap up a douche? Are you taking it somewhere? I don't know. Anyways, the classics, love them. So with that, let's screw up some song lyrics. So before we get to my own mondegreens, I want to go through a list of ones I found on the internet that may or may not be funny. Some of them are. I did listen to some of these songs, and you can kind of hear it. Starting with Creator from their Terrible Certainty album, the track is "Storming with Menace." It is the chorus, of course, the fake lyric, "Pastrami with lettuce." That's okay. Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that one. Next up is Slayer from their Rain and Blood album. The song is "Postmortem." The lyric is "Tighten the tourniquet around your neck," which according to someone out there sounds like "tighten the turkey around your neck." One of a few birds actually in this list, interestingly enough. Annihilator is next from their album Alice in Hell, from their song Alice in Hell. The lyric is "I was killed at birth." It sounds like Alice killed the bird, which it actually really does. Pull out that song next time and listen to it. It's pretty funny. Next up is Anthrax from their Persistence of Time album. The song is "Got the Time." It's the Joe Jackson cover. The lyric is "Tickin' in my head." And it really does sound like chicken in my head. In fact, if you listen to the song next, you're going to hear "chick, chick, chicken in my head, chicken in my head." Can't be avoided. Now that I've said it, of course. Next up is Megadeth from their Rust in Peace album. The song is "Five Magics." The line is "I master 5 magics." The mondegreen is "Thigh Master, Thigh Magics," which is amazing because who knew Megadeth was interested in doing exercise songs? If those exist, which of course they don't. And of course Metallica from their Black album, also known as Metallica. The song is "Enter Sandman." The lyric is "Dreams of war, dreams of liars, dreams of dragons, fire, and the things that will bite." Now becomes "dreams of war, dreams of liars, dreams of dragons, fire, and of baked apple pies." Yeah. Sure, why not? Of course, I did mention that I have some of my own mondegreens, largely culled from my teen years, though at least one is not, admittedly. First one is from Voivod, from their War and Pain album. That's their debut record. The song is Voivod, and before I get to that, I do want to talk about how you might misunderstand some early Voivod lyrics. It's pretty easy to do. I think a couple things are at play. The first of which is the rather messy production, which I'm not really complaining about. I think it adds to the charm of those early albums, especially War and Pain. But I think the other thing is Snake's French-Canadian accent. I don't think he's pronouncing words to the best of their understandability. Yeah, you know, that's fine. Kind of adds to the charm too, but it also adds to really being able to easily screw up the lyrics. This is the chorus to Voivod. It's the tail end line. I have no idea what the real lyric is. In fact, I don't want to know because I'm more amused with what I think it is. I'm sure 12 of you will let me know in the comments and I will ignore you outright. The line I think it is, or I want to think it is Voivod, your furniture's gone. And once you hear it, you'll hear it. It does bring some questions up, like, why is the furniture gone? Does the Voivod steal furniture? You know, does he flip it on Craigslist? What's he doing with my furniture? I don't know. Does he eat furniture too? That would be the other option, I guess. I'm not sure. It'd be pretty strange to come home and find the Voivod eating your sectional couch. I'd be disturbed by that. But I just don't know why my furniture's gone. I love my furniture. Don't take my furniture, Voivod. Next up is the Scorpions from their Love at First Sting album. The song is Rock You Like a Hurricane, which is a classic. Same thing with Voivod. The accent is really what adds to not hearing the lyrics very well. Klaus Meine has a thick German accent. It does play heavily into this song. Other songs too, but this one in particular. The lyric is right after the first chorus, and I'm going to do the screwed up lyric because it's way more fun. We all know this song anyways. So the lyric I'd love it to be is, my birdie's burning, the sun says shout, last night was coming with bricks of lout. Many questions, of course, come to the fore. Why is the birdie burning? Who's burning birds? Again, we got birds. Why is the sun saying anything, let alone shout? Seems a strange word to yell. Also, what the hell is a brick of lout? I know what bricks are. I know what lout is. What's a brick of lout? Let alone many bricks of lout. Huge questions. Scorpions, get on that. Let me know why. I need to know. Next up is Motley Crue, both from Too Fast for Love as well as Shout at the Devil. I need my iPad again for this because I have a number of these. So the mondegreen themes for Vince Neil in his lyrics and his singing are his mother. We hear about his mother a few times. We also hear about fat girls quite a bit. And I'm kind of wondering that it might not be too much of a stretch, so to speak, that maybe his mother is the fat girl. So, a few songs here from Starry Eyes. There is the line, standing alone in the light, you can see her fat. Also in Come On and Dance, towards the end, he screams the lines, come on, mom, which is an interesting sentence, with or without a comma, because if you take the comma out, it's an entirely different thing. Think about that. Also, the song Too Fast for Love, there is too fast, you're too fat for love, and you hear that way more than once. Pretty great. Of course, I said Shout at the Devil had one as well in the song 10 Seconds to Love. The very first lyric sounds like, oh, here I come, my mother's scent. And I know it's my mind is set, but I don't hear that ever. It's always his mother's scent. Do I wonder what his mother smells like? I don't know. Maybe she smells like baked apple pie. Wouldn't Metallica be pleased about that? But anyways, yeah, Motley Crue, fat girls, and his mom. Amazing. And continuing with the maternity theme, I have a band that many of you have probably never, ever heard of, largely because they were out of the Burlington, Vermont music scene of the early 1990s, of which I was a part. I live in Burlington, Vermont, by the way, in case you don't know that. The band is Chronic Decay. Here is their tape, 6 Feet of Earth Makes All Men Equal. The track is Unknown Phantoms. I do have a bit of a story about this because it merits a story. So back when they used to do their early shows, I used to go. I'm friends with the singer Gary Lane. Gary Lane, some of you might even know. He's a bit of a super fan in the world of heavy metal. He goes to all of the festivals, and I know people who have told me they've met up with him at the Maryland Death Fest, and they've met up with him in Boston and Montreal and all these other places. It's pretty interesting. Friends of mine who've actually gone to those events, and they'll be like, "Oh, you're from Vermont. You must know Gary Lane," which is just amazing. Little aside, Gary's a great guy. We're probably going to talk about you a little bit more, Gary. Trust me. So these shows, these Chronic Decay shows they used to do, they would do the song Unknown Phantoms. And the lyric is, "Splattering blood spills from the ground, another innocent victim never to be found." But my ears heard in that third part, instead of another innocent victim, I would always hear, I don't know much about Gary Lane's mom. We won't talk about her too much, obviously, but that's an interesting line, an interesting mondegreen, if you will. So what would happen is I'd go to these shows, and I would literally scream the line, "Your mother likes to get down," over top him. And you might think that's kind of annoying. Gary actually liked it quite a bit. A lot of other people did too, because what would happen over time is more people would join me in doing this. Gary actually made it part of the Chronic Decay show after about a year. He would basically just hold the mic out to all of us, and we would scream, "Your mother likes to get down." Amazing. So I always think about that when I hear this song. Amazing times. Yeah, your mother likes to get down. Why? I don't know. We'd have to ask Gary. He's probably not going to tell us. And since I already mentioned Voivod, I definitely have another mondegreen of sorts. It's kind of a mondegreen gray area, and as I explain it, you'll kind of see why. So back in 1988, Voivod put out their Dimension Hatros album. Amazing album. It's probably my favorite Voivod album ever. Back then, my buddy Eric, whom many of you have met through many videos on this channel, bought the album on vinyl, and he did cassette tape it for me before I actually got around to buying it myself. The song Tribal Convictions is really the focus of this this segment, because what happened is that he had taped it off the vinyl. The vinyl had a skip on it. But what's interesting is if you've never heard the song Tribal Convictions, you wouldn't know the skip happened because it's totally in beat. Like, it just keeps the beat. Like, there's no jarring jump in the rhythm of the song. So the line that happens outside of the skip is, "Are there any forces?" But what happens is with the skip is that it takes out "Are there any?" and then the f sound in forces. So all you hear is da-na-na-na, da-na-na-na, horses. And you're sitting there like, horses? What? So what's great about that is that we would only play this version because we only just wanted to hear the horses line and just laugh hysterically. It's a great song too. The album's amazing. Obviously I said that, but I actually got other friends into it too. I would play it and they're like, "Did he just say horses?" And I'm like, "Yes, horses," which is very cryptic, of course. Kind of in the same way corn nuts in the movie Heathers is a little bit cryptic. You're like, corn nuts. That's really amazing. So horses. I actually kind of want to go to his house and say, "Put on Dimension Hatros," and see if we can hear the skip again. But yeah, horses. It's not really a mondegreen, but it's a great story. And those are my misunderstood metal song lyrics. Of course, I know you've got some of your own, whether they're from your teenage years or last week or whatever. I definitely want to hear about all of them. Let me know all of that and anything else that makes sense in the comments below. And if this is your first time here at my channel, just so you know, my name is Matt. This is the Accusation Network, where each and every week I do videos on metal vinyl collecting. I also do videos on classic and modern metal bands in general, much like this one. If that sounds of interest, definitely subscribe to my channel, give this video a like while you're at it, and maybe share it with a few of your friends. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.